gorgeous souls. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot and to my regular Friday feature, which is looking at answers for your yes, no, maybe questions. So my typical reminder, super important, phrase your question so that if you were to get a yes, that is the outcome you're hoping to get. And also be really clear about your question going into it as well. That said, we have 4 piles today. I chose kind of a clear and white theme. Where I live, we had a very late sort of snowfall happen in our area where we're kind of in pre-spring mode. It was warming up and then all of a sudden we got snow, and so I just sort of felt inspired by that. So pile 1, we have sort of an opalite disc. Pile 2 is a bit of a kind of raw clear crystal quartz. Pile 3, we have another opalite, but this one is a sphere. And pile 4 is a quartz cluster. Before you pause or take a moment to feel into your piles, just a little bit about how this reading is organized. I first kind of tap into intuitive hits that come as I prepare your pile, and then we look at some background energy. Things like energy that is influencing and affecting your question, whether or not you're conscious of it. And then we use some tarot to get your actual yes, no, maybe. Okay, so look over these 4 piles, and if you have more than one question, take your time to maybe do the first question, decide which question's first and feel into which pile's drawing you in, and then come back to the intro and do that over for the next question, just so that you're really clear going into your reading. So pause here if you need. Timestamps are in descriptions, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your Friday insight with yes, no, maybe answers to your questions. So first jumping in, just taking a pulse on intuitive hits that came as I was preparing. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on with the intuitive hit. I initially felt kind of like a calm and peace, and then immediately tuned into like some anxiety kind of in the pit of my stomach. It was sort of like butterflies, but not quite the excitement of butterflies. And usually I'm able to tune in pretty quickly on what that's about, but I had to keep asking questions to it, like, is it because of this? Is it that? Is it that? And I kept getting these no's. And then finally I was like, is this frustration? And that's what rang true. Like, there's frustration. There's something frustrating that you're feeling that's giving you some anxiety. But at the same time, there's some sort of calmness around. And I don't know if the frustration is because you're trying to make something happen, but things are just like too calm. I don't know. It's sort of like, it took me a while to even get the answer about frustration, and I'm feeling like that's like as far as I can get with that. But there's also sort of some calmness, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe the cards will help clarify that. So let's look at some background energy that is influencing your question with the cards I have. Strength with Bearberry. Okay. Adventure with Samphire. Strength and adventure. Yeah, I do think I was tuning into something with that frustration, like you're wanting something more exciting to happen, but like everything's kind of calm. And it doesn't quite, I don't know, maybe it is a little stuck or something, and you're ready to shake something up. and brighten. Yeah, maybe the anxiety is sort of like, calm is great, but I'm ready for a shift. But maybe there's this energy of like, but maybe I should be enjoying the calm. That's not something that, you know, that I should take for granted, but I can't help but feel like I need to shake something up. I don't know. There's like, yeah, that's kind of an energy. I think that's what's going on here. Okay, let's get some confirmation cards with this, with the Earth Alchemy Oracle. Grandmother Moonstone, cycles of change, illuminating boundaries, new beginnings. I think you sense something's about to change, a new beginning's coming, but you're kind of just like, yeah, it's like frustrating because you sense it, but like nothing happens. And you're like, why? I don't know, maybe it's just patience. The Green Man and Moss Agate. Ritual and ceremony, new spirit guides, tree wisdom. Wow, that's interesting. I've never picked this card, and I've never had a card that talks about new spirit guides. I've never really thought about that. I always have this sense that we have, I mean, I guess I get that. Like, I do think we have some spirit guides that are, you know, in it for the long haul, but I do also think there are guides that come in and out based on a cycle of life we're in. So I mean, take this how you will, but this is what just popped in my head. Like, I feel like there's kind of in the spirit world, as you're sitting in this, a little bit of this liminal space, sort of like, I sense the new beginning. I've already kind of let go of a cycle, and so something is supposed to be opening to me. I sense it, but there's just like, and it's like you feel that strength, you know, but it's like, I have the strength. I feel, you know, because in that like liminal space, in the space between the end and the begin, we're supposed to restore. And I feel like you're like, I've done that. I have my strength. I'm ready to go. What is the holdup here? And I feel like in the spirit realm, whatever this new cycle is, it's really special because I feel like they're taking it seriously and they're kind of doing their own ceremonies of releasing some spirit guides that were like with you for a specific chapter and welcoming in a new, you know, like your spirit guides are going through their own ceremony of the old ones releasing and welcoming some new ones and doing some rituals for the new ones. And it's sort of like they're preparing for some reason because they have the perspective. They can see that there's an adventure up ahead for you. And so they really want to be prepared and anchor things in right and really create a sacredness around how they're handling and helping you. So I think that's the holdup is like you're, you know, like you feel ready. You're like, I'm rejuvenated. Let's go. What is this new cycle? Where are we going? What's happening here? And it's like, no, the spirit world is creating some sacred energy around the adventure that's coming. That's very fascinating. I've never really gotten a message like that. And then Stratumolite and Fern with Akasha, strip back and simplify, look to your origins. I think this is some wisdom coming from them. Like they hear this reading almost for you and they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we get you're frustrated. It's still going to be a minute, but let us give you some guidance that you could go into, like maybe you know how to do Akashic record, like connecting to the Akashic records, which is where sort of a record of everything is stored in the ethers, in the field. It's like a field of existence, of consciousness, and everything that has or will be is there, has been or will be is there. And it's like they're saying you could go into the Akashic record to just gain some insight of what might be coming, like you could get a peek into what's coming, but do some Akashic record, and something about that will brighten your mood, will give you that patience, will cheer you up a little bit and release some of that fresh, like anxiety that's from sort of frustration, and help you to feel just like, because your strength, you've rejuvenated, you don't need that. It's like, I mean, we can always heal more, right? But I feel like you're just rearing to go, and it's like, by doing a little bit of work with the Akashic records and getting that little peek and glimpse into things, you can sit in this calm space with that feeling of like, I'm healed in the way I need to be healed right now. So I'm just going to kind of like enjoy, almost like vacation, right? Summer vacation. It will give you that patience of like, I'm just going to enjoy this time then. I'm just going to treat this moment like summer vacation. Yeah, that's what's coming through there. This is so fascinating. I don't know. So my sense is that whatever you've asked about, whoops, we've already got one card coming out. I'm going to hold it off for a second. Whatever you've asked about is being affected by what cycle has already ended and what's coming in. So I definitely don't have a sense of yes or no yet. It's just that this is the reason why a yes or no would be here, is something's ending and beginning. Okay, so let's get your actual yes, no, maybe. So we have Adelita of water. Okay. Madre of fire. Look at all this. It's like mixing of ingredients. Potions and brews. It's like magic, and then offering. This feels like offering, and this feels like magic. And justice with cannabis. Interesting. My sense here, and I don't always feel the need to tap into the background information, because the yes no is sort of sitting on top of that a little bit compartmentalized, even though the stuff we go over is something that's affecting it. It doesn't have to directly talk to the yes no maybe, but these do feel like they're talking to me, between what we already looked at and what's come up around an actual yes no maybe. It's like, I think you've been doing a lot of work, and the healing you've kind of been doing in this liminal time, you've done a really good job, and that's why you feel really strong, as you've been mixing, you've been resting, you've been nourishing yourself, you've been very active and very nourishing in working on healing and restoration, and it's brought a lot of balance to you. And then justice also is 11, the card 11, which can be like a portal and a frequency shift. And so I do feel like you have established your equilibrium. You are balanced. It's tapping into this strength. You have strength, you have brightness. You've really done a great job of actively healing, actively participating in healing and reestablishing a balance in you. And it is bringing a healing, or like a frequency shift coming in. So I do feel like whatever you asked about may quite, for most of, you know, at least for a lot of you, really directly relate to what we've already been talking about. And it's sort of like waiting for that. Like, is this happening? I'm ready for that shift. I feel good. And this is saying, yeah, that frequency shift, the portal is here. It's coming, at least, you know, like, just patience, do that Akashic record work, and you will, yeah, you will, that frequency shift is coming in, and it's really related. I don't know, I just feel like these cards, the Adalita of Water and Madre of Fire, are kind of recognizing, saying like, great job on the work you've done, like really restoring. Your portal is close. The yes is close. If this is a past, because sometimes people ask past tense questions or the yes, no is already there. And this would sort of be like, yeah, it's, you know, if it's a past tense question, it's also a yes, but sometimes it takes us a minute to recognize we started a new cycle or like entered a new adventure. Sometimes we have resistance to that, the resistance to the call, you know, the call to action. We can have resistance to that, but this is saying, even if it is past tense, it's happened, but it just might take you a minute to recognize that you've already kind of stepped onto this new thing. And if it's something that's still unfolding, it's like patience, that you're like really close to that portal, to that shift. And yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this resonated. I hope it was insightful. If so, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. If you enjoy, just a side note, if you enjoy astrology, I also do an astrology newsletter. There's a free version, which has a lot of great stuff, and also a paid version. The link to subscribe to that is in the description, so go check out at least the free one if you like astrology. And yeah, that is where I'm going to leave you guys. I wish you well and good luck with whatever you've asked about, and I will see you guys in future readings. Hello, group or pile 2. Welcome to your Friday Insight with yes, no, maybe answers to your questions. So intuitive hits that came as I was preparing is I immediately, as I placed your stone, I was looking at the screen to make sure it was placed well versus actually looking at it. And on the screen, I don't know if you'll see it quite the same, but to me, it has this feeling of almost like there's a almost like a heart-shaped perfume bottle with this like lid on it. And it felt like something's bottled in your heart, ready to come out. And also with these initial cards that I shuffled and drew, they just all fell out together like immediately. So there is something, either you are eager or something's quickly happening. I couldn't quite gather which way it was, but something's eager here, whether this is your answer's coming very quickly or you just feel eager. So let's get into these cards, kind of look at this background energy that you may or may not be conscious of that is affecting things. So connection, and connection is an eager energy for sure, with foxglove, which is one of my favorite flowers. Connection. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Defend with dogwood. I also love dogwood. Defend, connection, and attract. Very interesting with violet. I'm wondering what the defend is about, because I feel that connection and attract, and what I was feeling with your stone, it feels very like, yeah, let's get sort of, let's open up. It's sort of like this feeling of like ready to open up, ready to move things. And with the heart, that can be a very attractive energy. The heart involved in it, at least, can be very attractive. So the defend, I don't know if that's sort of like guidance coming through. Like as soon as your heart is like getting ready to open up, and you will feel eager to connect, and it will attract a lot of things also. Like as you feel attracted to connect to things, other things will feel attracted to connect to you. And then this might be some advice of like, in that over eager energy, it could also, like, your boundaries may be like a little too open and excited and welcoming of all sorts of diversity of things. And I think this is saying like, but do just watch your boundaries a little bit. Like in this over-eager place of connection and things feeling also attracted toward you, like tune into those gut feelings. If something's off, block it. It's okay to block a few things as you open up and like really mix things up a bit, is what it feels like was about to happen. Like things are about to mix up a lot. Mingle, it's like a mingling thing. But if you get a bad gut feeling, don't just kind of be like, yeah, it's okay though, because I'm just like mingling, and it's a little bit superficial. It's light. It doesn't mean anything. But it could still just invite unnecessary issues. So do just pay attention to gut feelings, because I feel like it's like your heart is getting ready to open in some way. And yeah, I don't know how that will relate to your question, but something about this is affecting it. So let's get some confirmation cards here. Opalite and Alchemy. I probably didn't pronounce those correctly, with cleanse, lifestyle choices, detox, and nourishment. Yeah, I'm feeling that coming through, what I was picking up on, like in your eagerness to connect. Also, this actually feels like a slightly separate suggestion from Spirit. I love that there's like advice coming through. Not only should you listen to your gut and feel okay about sort of blocking certain things that don't feel right, even though you're very open to all sorts of experiences coming in. Also, sort of like each morning or each evening, doing like some breath work where you are purging all of the pollinating that took place, where other people's energy attaches to you and your energy hooks into other people. It's like, do a lot of conscious work each morning or evening where you kind of clear that, recall your energy, separate energies that don't belong on you, and just really get back to your personal energy and clarity, which will help you to tune into your gut feelings. Those might be clouded if you don't do this kind of work. That clearing work may, if you don't do clearing work, recalling energy and sending energies out of you that don't belong, you may have a hard time really hearing your gut instincts that will help you to defend from things that really you should be blocking. So yeah, I love that coming through, that it's like, this almost feels like Spirit talking to me, like, yeah, you heard me, you got the right advice, but also they're not gonna be able to hear their gut unless they do some cleansing. So let's build on this. Okay, more confirmation. Presley Bluestone, pilgrimage, sacred sites, grid work, dragon energy. Ooh, let's see. This also feels like a different context of defend coming in. If you feel really called to go somewhere, and it doesn't have to be a sacred site that's talked about and known, and people typically, you know, it's a typical place to do a pilgrimage. So you may have some site, and it may be even more local. I don't know, it could be, you know, this could be something you're gonna do a big pilgrimage to, but it could be something that's in your own backyard, in your own town or city, that you suddenly have this thing of like, I really need to visit that place. But like, maybe as that pops up and feels important to you, it's like life is, with all this connection going on, it's like you're very busy, so it's like, how do I make time for that? And oh, so-and-so needs this, and I need to go there, and this is happening, and I don't want to miss out on that. And it's like, defend that instinct though. It's really important to prioritize it. And if people try to interfere with you going to visit this thing that pops into mind, it's like, no, stick up for it. Really put this forefront. If something comes up that I need to take a pilgrimage here, and it might even just be like, there's a certain hike you love doing and you haven't done it in a couple years, and it's like, I really feel called to go do that. I feel like there's something about visiting some site that pops into mind that will really like anchor some energy into you that's needed. And I definitely feel like dragon energy is like, you know, and like in this particular card, it's sort of like standing stones and there's a dragon, and that holds definitely like portal energy to me. Like going to a place that pops into mind may open up some frequency shift for you that's really important. So like really listen to that if something comes to mind, like I need to visit this place or do this. Something about that is really important in a frequency shift for you. Okay, and then Candle Quartz and Bleeding Heart with Show Yourself, Vulnerability, Self-Worth, Feminine Healing. And this, look at the, oh my gosh, this is weird. If you turn this upside down, those heart with like the bottle cap, that feels like what I see here. It's like a heart, it's like a perfume bottle waiting to be opened, but that like holds your heart opening. And so this is giving context to that, like what's ready to come out of like your heart opening is more, you know, feeling of like you've gathered and incubated and really alchemized some self-worth in your heart, and it's sort of like ready to be shown. And when it opens, you're going to be willing to be more vulnerable and really show yourself and in a little bit more way of like, I know my voice, I know my values. You've really done some work to heal something, and it's going to be very attractive. Attract things into your life. Really fascinating. So no matter what, as we get into this tarot, no matter what answer comes up here, this is an energy that's affecting whatever you've asked about. But I want to just say, no matter what the answer is that you get to your specific question, the energy we've seen here is sort of like saying this really beautiful heart opening and frequency shift are coming in for you. That may not completely directly relate to your question, but like, yay, anyway. Okay, so let's see some tarot cards to tap into your specific question with the yes, no, maybe. So we have Four of Earth. And this particular Four of Earth is like someone's, you know, like you've been working to really construct something, it feels like. awakening. And the Empress with Rose. And look at the heart again. I do think, oh my gosh, not only is there a beehive heart, but look at this. Again, we have this like, and that's actually like a jewel on a necklace, but it still has that feeling of something starting to grow out of your heart opening up like a perfume bottle and letting its essence out. Here. Yeah, there's just like really new fertility coming in for you. I think you've been working hard like in a more contained way on something. Really weaving together things in a like more tangible, practical way to like understand your heart. You've been through some kind of curriculum anyway. Learn to do something, some kind of curriculum, and you've sort of like passed the test. You've done the curriculum. You're done with the curriculum. And it's creating an awakening and really allowing your heart to open up in a new way. Love to open up in a new way. So there's a big big mother effing yes here. This is huge. And it feels so related to what the background energy I was talking about. But yeah, definitely a yes. That's all. I mean, it's just beautiful. Yep. Okay, there's nothing else I can really say. I do feel that eagerness in you guys for sure. So, I don't know, but you'll just know when the time's right to, yeah. For some of you, the yes is already, you know, if it's a past tense question, just like be assured that like a lot of new fertility is coming in and around you and through you. If it's a future question, one that's still something that's still unfolding, it's like, yeah, it's beautiful, and you'll feel in your heart when it opens. That will be undeniable. So, all right, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Really, really beautiful yes for you guys. I hope this was insightful and helpful. If so, I always appreciate support. Likes, shares, subscribe are always an easy way to do that. I also am always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. It's fun to hear from you guys every once in a while as well. And yeah, good luck with this question. A lot of beauty coming in. So I will see you in future readings. Also, just a side note before I let you go, if you enjoy astrology, I also do an astrological newsletter where I send out sort of month ahead stuff, as well as different big transits that come. I'll send info when those hit, like full or new moons, or if you know, a planet has moved into a new sign. So in the descriptions, there's a link to sign up for that newsletter. It is free. And then there's also an option to upgrade to a paid version, which then gives like by sign horoscopes as well with all of those things. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever and when and wherever you are. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your Friday Insight reading with answers to your yes, no, maybe questions. You guys chose the little sphere of Opalite. So tapping into some intuitive hits that came before we get into the background energy with the cards was this is a really funny message. I don't know how it will relate to you guys, but so what came is I just felt immediately how small this little sphere was, but like how much potency. Like the phrase that came in my head was like, it's amazing how much energy can be in something so little. And then I immediately, after that phrase came into my head, thought of this character in a series that I love. It's called Britannia, and it's sort of, you know, pre-Roman, or just like right as the Roman Empire was invading what was then called Britannia. It was sort of like that struggle between the early Celtic people and the Romans initially invading. And there's very much so like some magic in the movie. There's druids are a focal point. It's not a movie, of the series. And there's one particular druid who's really funny. He's kind of been like kicked out of the druid community, but he's a, you know, pretty intensely trained druid, and feels this like he has some special calling, and I won't get into that background, but he has this, one of the things he does as a druid is he has this pebble that he can kind of hypnotize people. He'll just, you know, like if he needs to kind of get someone under his control, he'll take out the pebble and be like, look at Pebble, touch Pebble, and they become totally hypnotized and like obsessed with the pebble, and then they're kind of like under his influence at that point. And something about that just flooded in with this, like something hypnotic, something so small and precious that's like hypnotic. And I don't know if that's something like you're fixating on something, or your energy has that where people are like looking at you in that way, or your question holds that kind of like you're hypnotized by your question. I don't know, but there's something about that. There's a little bit of an illusion going on here, and I don't know if that's favorable or unfavorable. So we'll just, no matter what it is, there is a lot of energy here. Okay, so let's get into these first initial cards, which is looking at some background energy, things that you may or may not be conscious of, but that are affecting your question. That would be good to become more aware of. So we have preserve with pine. Okay. I also think with pines of like evergreen, you know, they're one of the trees that still kind of stay green in the winter. They know how to preserve their strength, I guess, maybe. I don't know if that's exactly right, but. And then hollyhock with abundance. Interesting. Okay. And then we have fern with growth. Wow, there is just this energy though, generally, of like really knowing how to sustainably grow is what this feels like. It's like preserving, knowing how to sustainably use something or your energy. And so like never over or underdoing things, like being prepared, which is a really great energy of like knowing how to make life flourish and grow. So it's really beautiful energy. I'm not exactly sure how it relates to the pebble feeling I had. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get some confirmation cards and see what else we can tease out here. Citrine and dandelion, make a wish, clearing, comparison, surrender to magic. Very fascinating. There is some magic going on here. I just don't have a hold on it yet. Aquamarine and white lily, go with the flow, divine mother, Shekinah flow, detach. Go with the flow. And then these dandelion are also you know, like when you blow on the dandelions that are kind of in that seed, like the little ball that's like little seeds, and you blow on it and their seeds go everywhere. That's also like detaching from something and going with a flow. It feels like seeding things. You kind of have to like let go of a past cycle in order to seed a new kind of growth coming in, maybe. And then the diamond ray. And that says diamond light body, high frequency activations, planetary grid work. It does, like, there is this essence here of needing to like initiate into, one of the other readings had very similar energy to me. It's like needing to, but like you're maybe in a slightly different phase. It's like that other reading, they had already let go of some cycle and they were eager to get going into the new one. And I feel like that's where this is coming in. Like maybe you're still fixating on, like holding on, trying to preserve an old cycle that's ending. And you're trying, you know, like that call to action is coming in that you need to kind of detach and let go into this new journey, this new adventure. Something's activating though, but I do feel some resistance. I think that's what that was about. There's some resistance, but it's whatever's activating has too much power. You know, like you can't really hold on to the past here. Something new is activating and it's too powerful. Interesting. Okay, let's look at your tarot to get more specific to your question, a yes, no, maybe. So this is all something in the background that's going on, and for whatever reason it is affecting what you've asked about. Curandera of Air. There's been a lot of court cards coming out in these readings. 9 of Air, okay. And we have swords in both of them, which is saying like you do need to detach from something. Like cut the cord, you need to cut a cord of something that you're fixated. And then Ace of Fire, because something new is coming. So I do get this overwhelming sense that you're trying to, whatever you've asked about, it's like you're trying to hold on to something. And ultimately that's creating some anxiety by doing so. But there could be anxiety too about the thought of letting go, because there's uncertainty in that. But I'm also seeing kind of this wing tattoo on the arm, and it's sort of like, but it's time to fly. It's time to let go, go with the flow. The universe will take you, like there's a very strong current and frequency in the universe that's trying to pick you up, and it will take you where you're supposed to go. So if there's some uncertainty you're feeling, like, well, if I were to let go, I don't know that I would know what to do, and you don't need to know. There's very clear energy here that you will be taken where you're supposed to go. There's a current and a frequency that is going to pick you up and take you to a new beginning, to a new activation. But it's time to let go of something here. So I do get this feeling that it's a no for you guys, unless you specifically asked about, should I let go? Should I move on? That would be the only questions that would get a yes here, is if you're asking about, should I let go? Is there something different coming, kind of thing. But for everyone else, there is a no here, and some messaging coming through of like, it's time to kind of cut a cord. Okay, I hope that resonated for you guys. I hope it was insightful and helpful. If so, I always appreciate support, likes, shares, subscribes. Lets me know that I'm connecting for you guys. Always also grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. It's fun to hear from you all. Also, a side note, if you enjoy astrology, I also do an astrology newsletter through Substack, and there's a link in my descriptions to join the free version. You can always upgrade to the paid version, which just gives a little bit more info in each newsletter. so like I'll put out, for example, like a month, like the month of March will be coming out soon, and there's a newsletter that kind of gives an overview of like things going on for the month. And then throughout the month I'll send more micro little newsletters with like if a new transit is happening. So like I do new and full moons, as well as like if a planet has moved to a new sign, kind of an overview of what to expect. And then if you're a paid subscriber, there's like by sign horoscopes for all of those as well. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave you. I wish you luck with whatever you've asked about. I do, even if it felt like a no to you, because you didn't ask about something new, the encouragement and the silver lining is something beautiful new is coming in for you. So yeah, have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are. I hope this gives you what you needed, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your Friday Insight reading, where we are going to get yes, no, maybe answers to your question. So jumping in, first, let's touch on some intuitive hits that came for me, and it was pretty clear what came. Oops, I'm shaking the table. There's something about slowing down. There's something about really paying attention to what, like your 5 earthly senses and what feels good and right to you, to your particular tastes. That it's something about like that's the correct way is to slow down and really get into embodiment and sense what feels right to you, not what you think should be right, or what doing things the way others do it, or even more than that, it felt like it would give you to be in your own embodiment and do things according to what feels right to you. It's like the right, like that's the correct perspective needed. Something about perspective with that. Okay, let's look at these first initial cards I've laid out, which are going to be tapping into some underlying energy that is affecting your question, whether or not you're conscious of it. So we've got protection with Rowan. It's the Rowan tree. Nettle with tribulation. And nettle can be irritating to your skin. Something's protecting you from an irritant, maybe. Oh, but also the nettle can grow around spaces that need protection, that are needing to kind of restore themselves. It like keeps people from interfering with areas in nature that are trying to restore. So maybe you're needing some boundaries, right? So that you can restore. And then adversity. Yeah, there is an overwhelming sense here that you need some protective boundaries up right now to kind of do some healing. And that makes sense of like needing to come into your own embodiment and energy and senses and slow down to make sure what's feeling good to you, what feels right and what feels good, and getting into that kind of a perspective will help you to do what you're needing to do here. Interesting. Okay, let's get some confirmation cards for each of these. Ooh, well, those 3 all want to jump out, so that's what we're going to take. Is it 3? Yeah. Okay, so we have Mama Cacao and Rhodonite, heart opening, heightened sensitivity, unifying, high on love. Interesting. So maybe it's specifically about protecting your heart right now. It's like maybe something's incubating in your heart, so it's like doubly sensitive at the moment. Something's restoring, something's healing in your heart, so it's like extra sensitive at the moment. But it's like beautiful, like whatever healing is going on or whatever kind of is alchemizing in your heart is really beautiful. And you need to, but it like needs, it needs space. It needs, to have some boundaries around it to complete that incubation or that alchemization, whatever's happening there, or healing, whatever it is to you, whatever resonates to you. It's like there's still time needed for this beautiful heart opening that's developing. So extra protection there. And then Jade and Pink Lotus. Sink into silence, reflection, tranquility. Yeah, I mean, it's coming through very strong. You need some downtime, you need some space, you need to protect your personal energy right now and really get into your own space, your own needs, your own senses, and into what feels good to you, what looks right to you, what tastes right to you, what smells right to you. Whatever that means. But this is also saying like some silence and reflection, some rest. And then Anandalite and Lemon Balm, integrating energies, awakening, transitioning. Yeah, something's incubating. But it's needing like you to really be in your personal energy to kind of finish that. And so you need to protect your space and your energy to get into your personal embodiment and kind of complete this sort of alchemy that's going on in your heart, awakening that's coming in. Interesting. Yeah. So that could cover a whole bunch of different things. It could have to literally do with love. It could just be a general heart opening that kind of makes you feel more compassionate and alive. It could, I mean, whatever, you know, the heart can relate to so much. Putting you more in touch with your heart's path, you know, your heart leading you to your more most purposeful path. Yeah. But something's alchemizing, something's incubating around that, and it needs you to really put your personal sense into it. Okay, so this is underlying energy, something that's kind of going on in the background that is affecting your question for some reason. So we are going to do some tarot now to more specifically look at your question and the energy of yes, no, maybe around it. Nine of Water. It's beautiful. The Star. Already I can see that whatever is incubating in your heart really contains some wish fulfillment in it. But it's sort of like, what comes to mind specifically when this Star card and in your reading is, you know, it looks like someone's created a star and they've really intentionally made a star to like wish upon, because the Nine of Waters is like a wish fulfillment. And I feel here like all these little cherry blossoms is like your heart opening and like your wish blossoming in like really beautiful, abundant ways. But it's like you need to bring some really, really focused personal intention and attention to this. Like do some journaling around your question. Make manifestation boards, like visual, you know, this is like doing something that you can tangibly touch or visibly see. So So making like a picture board or making a little mandala or a little altar to really focus intention around your question, because it is like something about your question's deeply connected to your heart, and something's about to really blossom here. Like we have a star in this card too, 5 of Fire, Black Cohosh, which can really absorb some negative stuff. I think that's I mean, I know Black Cohosh probably has a lot of things it does, but I feel like one of the things is it can like really absorb some negativity. But the star again, there's something you need to visibly put out to focus intention on and to bring you back into embodiment, to really focus your question and to help you give your heart the space it's needing right now to like incubate. Because whatever you've asked about, surprisingly or not, hold some wish fulfillment here. And the answer I'm getting here is mostly yes, but there is an overlying maybe. It's like you need to bring a lot of intention and attention to what you've asked about to get your yes. It's sort of like, the analogy I want to give is, you know, someone gets, a woman becomes pregnant, and this new thing is incubating in them. And if you bring a lot, you know, if that woman brought a lot of intention into that incubation, into that thing forming, and really made sure to check her stress levels, to eat, you know, like really great nutrition, both for her body and for the pregnant, you know, the fetus, and took care of her energy levels and got massages, and, you know, like the whole experience would be better. But also, like, you know, the fetus is, their nervous system is forming based off of a mother's hormones during pregnancy. Of course, the nutrition affects it. And not saying that, like, you know, if you just sort of went about your life, like it wouldn't be born as a normal, functional, healthy fetus. It definitely could be, but like, you can have an effect by really being present and intentional of the kind of stress hormones and nutrition that fetus is getting. It can really make little differences in the outcome, and especially if there's negative habits. You know, if you were someone that did drugs and drank a lot, like, you know, that can really negatively impact. So there's things here of like really bringing intention to this, because it's a really has the, whatever you've asked about has the potential to really bring some beautiful heart opening and wish fulfillment, whether or not you realize that. But it's like the greater intention you give to it, the greater the outcome of the yes. And I'm going to say for the majority of you, you're getting a yes, but some of you, if you have negative habits that might affect this question, you could get a no here. So that's a very personal thing, because you've all asked very different questions. So that's something for you to gauge, like, do I have habits that would negatively impact what I'm asking about? And if so, I need to really take care to be conscious and aware of that and pull those back. If you don't really feel like you have negative habits that affect what you've asked about, there is a yes coming, but you can get there are degrees of yeses here, and the more beautiful intention and care you put into what you've asked about, the greater the yes here. So for a very, very small minority, there could be a no. And so that's why there's an overlay of a maybe. But the majority of you, there's a yes, but there's degrees of yeses here. If this is past tense, I would say that there's a yes, but the degree of your yes would depend on the kind of energy you and intention you put into the question still. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense, what I said, how I phrased this. The main message here is for the majority of you, there's a yes. But you can make a difference on the kind of yes coming here. But beyond that, there's wish fulfillment, like something's really beautiful and it's something coming really strongly through your heart here too. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. It's fun to hear from you guys every once in a while. Side note, if you enjoy astrology, I do put out an astrological newsletter, which there is a link to subscribe to that in the descriptions. You would be subscribing to a free version. There's an option to upgrade to a paid version as well. The free one, I put out like a monthly newsletter that kind of goes over the astrology of the month, and then throughout the month, like more little micro newsletters for any transits that happen, like a planet going into a new sign or new or full moons. If you are a paid subscriber, there's also by sign horoscopes for all of those as well. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. Good luck with this question. I do just get a sense that your heart is opening in a beautiful way here. In general, the main message that is felt is that. And yeah, so good luck with that. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are.